Have you ever wondered how the data in the racing car video game gets translated into real-time leaderboards and insights? What are the best tools to build such a real data pipeline? And how you can effectively tackle prevalent streaming challenges such as delayed arrival of a data and ensuring the holy grails of exactly once processing. Hi, I am Anand Shah, a big data and streaming specialist at AWS, and I am going to answer all of these questions and more in this series. So what will you learn? Over the next 5 episodes, we are going to build a real-time gaming leaderboard application based on a real use case to learn all the parts of streaming architecture, including data ingestion, real-time enrichment using database chain data capture or CDC for short, data processing, computing results, storing them, and finally visualization. In addition, I will also teach you advanced analytics techniques like control channel for A/B testing, feature switching and parameter updates with zero downtime, handling late arrival of data, exactly once processing or data deduplication avoidance, and storage of historical data with ability of on-demand replay. In the first video, I will cover foundational topics to introduce streaming analytics, Apache Flink and Amazon Managed Service for Apache Flink, and demonstrate how you can do data ingestion in the first step. By the way, the GitHub repo for every episode can be found in the description below. Let's begin. Let's understand why streaming is extremely important. Value of decision making gets deteriorated as the time passes by. Data in seconds is more useful for predictive and actionable insights. As the data moves across the time and goes to the minutes, it's probably more useful for reactive or archived kind of a use cases or historical use cases. Let's understand what are the most common streaming use cases are. Some of the streaming use cases are anomaly detection, IoT analytics, rapid response or emergency response, real-time personalization, and gaming leaderboard of course. Now let's move through the different stages of the streaming architecture. All the hard work starts from the collecting of the data from variety of the real-time data sources, and that's what we call as the data ingestion. Once you have ingested the data into a streaming platform, the next stage comes is the streaming storage, which could be any streaming tools or technology. For example, MSK, or it could be Kinesis data stream. In our use case, we will be using Kinesis data stream. Then you go to the enrich, process or analysis portion of it, which is more about applying the business logic and enriching your data as the way you want. Finally, you store the results into some result store, which could be the database or data lake, and then you use it for visualization. That's the end goal what user sees. So let me give you an overview of gaming leaderboard use case. So imagine you have a car racing company where lot of players are playing this online racing game together, and then as they keep playing this game, you continuously gather data from the events generated by this game, which contains the speed of the car, the distance that car is traveling, etc., along with the player ID. And then what we translate that into as a part of this use case is into a real leaderboard, which showcases two important factors for all the players back, which is first leaderboard by top speed, so who is the best player, let's say in terms of the speed, and the total distance that a player has traveled within the game. So that's our end goal. So let's understand what we are building in terms of the architecture. So at first we will start with the lambda function, which is a data generator and generating data continuously, mimicking as if the data is coming from the game. Second, we ingest this data into Kinesis data stream and receive it into Managed Apache Flink service. Next, we extend this architecture with the database. We bring in the MySQL database and connect it as well for enriching the data using CDC method. Third, we add the lambda again to get the results and store it into Amazon Memory DB for Redis. Finally, we have the Grafana visualization where you can see it. Later on, we will also add the control channel portion of the architecture where we have another Kinesis data stream handling the controls. And finally, we extend the final piece and put the final piece of a puzzle, which is the archiving portion of the data using Kinesis data firehose and then replaying it with the same notebook environment which we will be using through the course. This is the first part of 5-part series where we are building the streaming data ingestion portion. What are the services we are going to use to build this architecture? Well, 2 of them. First one, Apache Flink, which is the heart of this architecture, and that is the service you will be using most of the time. And second is Amazon managed service for Apache Flink, which hosts the open source Apache Flink. That is all on theory. Let us go to the fun part and begin our hands-on tutorial. So, when you go to the GitHub repository, you will see the README loaded. The README gives you the bit of an overview of course, what the series is about, and then it takes you to the structure. When you see the structure, it is divided as the infra folder and the notebook folder. Infra folder of course contains all the infrastructure as a code, and the notebook contains 2 notebooks. First is the challenges notebook and second is the answers notebook. You can use the challenges notebook for completing any of the challenges throughout the course of this series, and answers notebook contains all the answers for you. Anytime if you get stuck, you can always go back and look at the answers. Now, repository has 2 type of branches, one ending with the setup, another one ending with answers. So, setup branches are the branches which sets up the infrastructure as a code required for you to work, and the answer branches sets up the answers or brings the answers and auto completes the challenge for you. So, you will need 3 prerequisites for building the whole architecture. First one is the Node.js with npm latest version and the CDK, which you can install using this command. Third is the Python 3 with the pip command. In terms of the deployment, you can either switch to the respective branch or you can go to the text to download the respective code. Then in the different folders you go and install the Python libraries. All the branches are kind of progressive. So, you can switch from one branch to other as you progress throughout the series. In the README, I have given the overview of different architecture and different branch as they progress. Now, let us understand the source code. Right now, I am in the ingestion branch. The first part is just setting up the Kinesis data stream called events. That is the stream which will be used to push the sample streaming events. Second one, data generator, which generates these sample events. It is basically a lambda function. And third one is the notebook common, which is nothing but setting up the role for you with all the right and permission for notebook to be used. Now, let us go to the terminal and I will show you how you can deploy. So, first thing you go to the infra folder, then you run npm install. Then you go to the functions folder, which is a subdirectory of an infra folder. Then as you saw in the README, there are 2 functions which needs the pip installation. First one is the player. So, we go to the player, copy this command and paste it. That will install Python library for player function. Same thing for ready sig function, you go to that folder, run this command, and that is it. We come back to the infra folder and then run CDK deploy. If this is the first time you are using the CDK, you should run CDK bootstrap, which basically bootstraps environment for you. Once you run CDK deploy, it will synthesize the project and ask you for the permission to deploy. Then you say yes to accept the deployment changes. and it will start deploying. As it's deploying, what you should be able to see in your AWS account is the new stack called Gaming Leaderboard stack appearing and with the progress. So let's wait for this to finish the deployment. So once it is deployed, you will see this new stack appearing on the screen in CloudFormation service. Next one, you go to the Kinesis Analytics and Studio Notebooks. Then you hit Create Studio Notebook, but with the custom settings. You can give it any name, for example, Demo 1. Leave the next option as is and hit Next. In terms of the IAM role, you say choose IAM role, and you can choose the role which starts with Gaming Leaderboard stack, which is created by CDK. Next, you select the database called Leaderboard and say Next. You can leave all of these options as it is and hit Next. This is the review page, so again keep everything same and hit Create Studio Notebook. As it's created now, you hit Run button to start it, confirm the choice. Let's wait for it to start a bit. Once it is up and running, you hit Open Apache Zeppelin and then import note. Select the file which is part of this repository. Inside the notebook folder, use the challenges one. You will see the new notebook appearing here. Click to open. Just a quick note, you should keep only one query running at the time, as Apache Flink SQL queries runs continuously on the data as the new data is added at the source. You can use the pause button on the right of the paragraph to stop the query, or you can use this block to stop all the queries which is running. Next one, we create the events table which references the data from the Kinesis data stream events. Just remember to ensure that you are in the right region. Put the region name here. In my case, I am in US East 1, so I am going to do that and then hit Run. It will start the Flink context and run this paragraph for you. Once it completes, it automatically creates the table for you. Next one, challenge for you. Can you spin up a Studio Notebook based on the demo I have shown you, and can you select the data from events table? That's the challenge for you. In this video, we have learned fundamentals of streaming analytics and perform data ingestion. In the upcoming video, we will get our hands dirty and building the whole pipeline for real. I will also cover data enrichment and show you how you can connect streaming data with the chain data capture from the database using CDC method. If you are enjoying this series, give us a like and please consider subscribing. I will see you in part 2.